Hi, so I'm Kim, and I'm out here in the Nevada desert. It's morning, sun's just starting to rise in front of me, which is why I'm squinting. And I'm starting my own YouTube show. There's a reason behind that. I'm really active. I like to hike, fish, camp. I run marathons. A marathon is 26.2 miles, if you don't know. I like biking. I really enjoy being in the outdoors. And one of the other things I like to do is I like to watch survival shows. Right now, I am totally obsessed with the show Alone. When I watch these survival shows, I look at the people and I think, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, or I'd do this, or maybe you should have done this, or what are you thinking doing that? Like I have any bushcraft knowledge at all, because I have about zero bushcraft knowledge. I have no idea. I don't think I'd survive out there. Maybe I would, but I don't think I would. I certainly wouldn't ever be chosen as a contestant on one of those shows. But here I am going ahead and critiquing the show and the contestants like I know better than they do. And let's face it, I'm never going to be on that show, if for no other reason than I don't like the cold. I'd be that contestant that they'd drop me off somewhere, and before the helicopter was even out of sight, I'd be calling on the satellite phone and tapping out and saying, I'm done. And they'd say, what's wrong? We just dropped you off. And I'd say, I know, but it's too cold here. And they'd say, but it's 70 degrees. And I'd say, I know, right? I had to put on a jacket. That's too cold for me. And that's really true, because I tell people I'm a lizard. I like warm weather. If it gets up to 100 degrees, I'm happy. And I watch these shows and it's like down to zero and below zero. I'm like, okay, I'm out. I can't do that. So let's face it, I'm never going to be a contestant on Alone. But I kind of want to be a contestant on Alone. And that's why I decided that I'm going to start my own survival show on YouTube. And I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be goofy, silly, quirky. I'm going to have to pretend some things because, like I said, I really, don't like the cold weather. And you're going to have to pretend along with me, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And I also think that we're both going to learn some things along the way. I do know a little bit about surviving out in the wild because I go camping. And I'll teach what I know, and what I don't know, if I think of something that I think should be on my show, then I'll learn it and then I'll teach it to you too. So I think it's going to be fun. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I'm thinking about calling it Kim Survives because my name is Kim. Thought about calling it Grandma Survives because I am a grandma. I'm almost 56 years old and I have 8 grandchildren currently, with another one on the way. Totally excited about that. Or I thought about calling it Abuela Survives. Abuela is Spanish for grandmother. That's a nod to my Costa Rican heritage because I'm half Costa Rican. I grew up in the United States and English is my first language, but when my first granddaughter was born almost 12 years ago, hard to believe she's that old, her mother asked me what they should call me because they already had a grandma, they already had a nana. And she said, how do you say grandmother in Spanish? And I said, abuela. And she's like, okay, well, we'll call you abuela. And so that's what all the grandkids call me, is abuela. Sometimes they shorten it to just abuela. So maybe I'll call it Abuela Survives. I haven't decided yet, but when I know, I'll let you know. Be sure and tune in, follow me, tell your friends about me. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm excited to get started.